Hello, ma'am. I am Lynette K. Marie Sibarami, BSN1. So I'll be having an extemporaneous speech about social media and free speech, the good and the bad and the ugly by Nikki Peters. I just searched this online, so let's get started. Social media is a fantastic way to get people to express themselves, whether it is be via a Facebook status, writing on walls, Twitter updates, photos you share, and these are all extensions of you and your personality. They help portray your interest, your views, and help show people who you are. They offer a platform for you to be yourself, to be creative, to be who you want to be, and most importantly, have an audience for all of this. Unlike in the real world, where social etiquette and manners can sometimes seem restrictive and limiting, people feel they have a greater sense of freedom or of expression and or of speech when using online networks. Of course, content is monitored and can be removed. But with millions of users on sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and even YouTube, not every single photos or comments can be watched, evaluated, and completely controlled. This has arguably led to a rise in expressions, feelings, and ideas from people who may otherwise find it hard to portray themselves, how they would like in person and face to face with others. Essentially, social media has changed the way we are able to communicate and behave not only in groups in society, but with each other. Then, good. The good. What are the possible consequences of this newfound, or at least newly perceived freedom of expression? For people who find it difficult to interact with others in person, the internet gives them a great way of communicating and not having to feel self-conscious or nervous. Everyone has a right to say what they think and feel, and so this is a good way for those less confident to make their stand. It provides a level playing field if you like. When someone feels happy and comfortable, they can express themselves more eloquently and possibly even gain themselves a wide audience which they may otherwise have found difficult to achieve. Why stand in front of other hundreds of people and talk if you find that hard when you can sit at home behind a screen and write your topics and still get the audience? Whether it is personal or business, such as marketing, you can get your news or views out there. Arguably, it is just as or even more effective than a conference room. The power of the retweet and like buttons should not be scrolled up. This means that the story or a view of a shy individual can reach a larger audience than it might if they were stood up in front, if you making this type of media particularly effective. Social media can help you and be yourself and invoke confidence to those who need it. This is because you are not having to face personal and intimate criticisms or nerves, because you do not have to see anyone who may be critical about you. Written comments can inspire healthy debate as you have time to compose yourself, whereas people criticizing you in person can be difficult cause you to panic and cause you to be defensive. Everyone deserves to have a confidence in themselves and their beliefs, and network can help inspire and educate people in this. Then, the bad. This level of freedom has its drawbacks. People with more fundamental or perhaps more morally questionable views than your average Joe can cause thirst and comfort. Now, people have the right to believe in what they want, but they express these more extreme views or attack other people. Sexism, racism, for example. That offense can be taken and problems begin. For example, the man behind the recent attacks in Norway used Twitter to send out his views on the world before he carried out the attacks. Maybe more regulation is needed to help police more extreme views. A Twitter account attributed to be suspect has also emerged, but it only has one post, which is a quote from philosopher John Stuart Mill. One person with a belief is equal to the force of 100,000 who have only interest. Courtesy of BBC News Online, maybe stricter online control and regulations will help alert the authorities in some cases. There is no way to know it is a very great gray area to cover. They may not even be a right or wrong answer to this question. On a personal aspect, social media can be used for internet bullying and victimizing. Gives people the opportunity to upset and gossip 24/7. Online bullying is a serious problem and should not be overlooked or dismissed. The victims of bullying at school, for example, like to go home and escape, not sign into their computer to be faced with more endless hurtful words. Next is a rock and a hard place. Social media is a gift. It can be used to make or break a business. It can also make or break a person. The truth is, the moral problems about freedom and expression in real life can now be applied to the virtual world. Whether we like it or not, or even agree with it, it's viral enough to be good for people to express themselves and find themselves. It's also liberal enough to provide a soapbox for less appropriate beliefs. So that's all for my extemporaneous speech. Thank you for listening. Thank you.